Welcome to episode 26 of You or I Just Getting Started, a college hoops podcast. If you want to watch all these great Roadie podcast interviews, and there are some really exciting ones coming up, like URI high school star and new administrative assistant Justin Missoula, make sure to hit subscribe. Also, tap the little bell for notifications. And you like it, give us a thumbs up. We would also like to hear from you too, so please leave a comment. Well, tonight I have Dustin Hellenga as our guest, a guy that played with as much heart as anyone at Rhody. You might know him as the guy who hit the buzzer beater to take down Pac-10 giant USC, and that opened up the Ryan Center in dramatic and controversial fashion. Dustin is a kind of Rhody folk hero, if you will, who today has reappeared after a 20-year hiatus since his magic Rhody playing days. What do you have to say about that, Dustin? It's kind of true.
It's very true. After Rhode Island, I kind of went off the grid for a little bit, but nothing crazy. I wasn't in jail or anything like that.
That's you, Dustin. That's you. Typical. Yeah. I like that.
I kept in touch with the close ones, from Rhody and my family and close friends, and that's all I needed at the time, and it was just fine.
Yeah, and I saw some pictures of you and Jamal.
Oh yeah, I see Jamal all the time. He's an hour down the street, so
really,
our families hang out. Yeah, our families hang out often. We talk at least once a week, and Jamal is doing real well for himself.
Well, I'm going to share the screen now. So, like I was saying, Dustin, you're very special to the fans, and I was talking to you a few weeks ago, and you really didn't believe it, but numbers speak for themselves. And I'm going to get to you, the person who found this video, and you and I have been talking about finding this video for a long time.
Yeah.
But look at the numbers here: 1,200 views. I was 27 likes. You topped some really big people that I've had on before, and I've tweeted out. And you can see really where you are as far as Rhody, as far as the popularity of you. You're really like a cult figure, more than just a player. And you're someone that just made some people don't make one shot that you made three. And there's some great players, I won't mention names, that played at Rhody and didn't hit any shots. They just played consistently, played well, but you managed to find your way in that, and that's evidence of, like I said. But here's something else. We had a lot of response from Rhody fans. You're going to be floored when you hear this one. He's talking about you. He's one of the first players I can remember shooting from very deep, even before Steph Curry showed that it could be a viable shot for some. Did you expect coming on today that you were going to be compared to Steph Curry?
No, not at all. Not one bit, really. The difference is his are consistent. I think I just made a few at the right time, but it's awesome to be compared to him. Obviously, he's a stud. He's a Hall of Famer, but it's pretty cool that people view it that way. And it'll be something for my kids to hear, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're going to talk about your kids. I wanted to see how you're doing on your weekends. You're very busy on weekends. I have a programming note. We have some bonus coverage after the podcast of the PC game when you went off. So we're going to, after we do a bunch of things, we're going to sign off, and then the fans could stay on and they could see great highlights. What about that PC game? We're going to get into it, but that was something, the Blizzard game, and your shot. Some people don't even call it a shot; they call it a heave. Brings back some great memories, doesn't it?
It sure does. I mean, that game in particular, Dewan and I talk about all the time because we had identical stat lines that game, and even prior to the game, leading up to it, we saw the weather coming in, and we thought it was going to get canceled. I think they pulled some strings to get it played and give us a little edge to knock them off for the second year in a row. But it was awesome. The crowd was electric. It's just one of those games that I live for. I loved it, and I wanted to do everything in my power to make PC go back crying, and it worked out. So
See that the way you talk about PC, everyone speaks so respectfully. They're afraid to criticize the coach right now, and you just say what's on your mind, and that's what we want to hear because a rivalry is a great thing, and there's nothing
yeah,
wrong with giving them the business a little bit like you did, and you had some great quotes we'll get to also. I want to give a shout out to this great Rhody super fan. I call him like a super fan and a super scout. Well, get this name, Dustin. His name is Steven Studley, and he found the lost footage of the PC game. I'm gonna share his Twitter profile, and I guarantee you won't be disappointed if you follow him. He is
okay, cool.
constantly coming up with Roadie hoop scoops. He turned me on to something that's coming out on it for not just Roadie, but for UMass. I don't know how he finds this stuff, but I just wanted to mention his name. But that's all.
Yeah, I follow him for sure.
Yeah, and everyone else watching this, besides the subscribe and all that other stuff I've been asking you guys for. But anyway, Dustin, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Couldn't be better. Took a while, but I'm finally settled down, married, got two beautiful daughters, and work is great. Life is great, man. I can't
Am I allowed to say you have a beautiful wife?
gorgeous, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, she puts up with me. She is everything in my eyes. So
Yeah. I've said that before to Silk, and so far I haven't had trouble, but maybe one of these days if I might hit someone and they might not like that, but she is all the play. Any kids parties last weekend?
yeah. We had to go to it's an athletic center around here called the St. James. It's owned by Kevin Durant. They got a water park inside. So we took the eldest, who is 3.5 now, there, and rest of the weekend just went to the neighborhood pool and relaxed, man.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it wasn't as hectic as the last weekends you and I had talked, but there's always going to be something, which is fine. It's fun.
You've got a social life more than I do.
Yeah, my
You're
wife wants me to calm
careful.
that down, but that's all right.
Yeah. Well, just a little backstory on our friendship. We've been talking for about 5 years about
Yeah.
going to the Atlanta 10 conference game, and we just can't get it going. There's always something. I think I went to the first one. So, what do you think? Are we going to meet up this year in Brooklyn? What are the
We're
chances?
going.
Okay.
We got a big group going. Myself, Dewan. I'm trying to get Howie up here. We'll see. He's busy. He's out in Texas, so that's tough for him. But Jamal will be there. John Clark's coming in from Canada. I think Hazleton will probably be there. He's not too far away in Connecticut, so we're gonna get the crew back together and hopefully not get in too much trouble.
Yeah. Well, I hope I'm a part of that.
Oh,
Because
no
this is
doubt.
getting
You'll be
crazy.
there.
You're always talking about it, and we just can't do it. And it's partly my fault. I did go to the 2018 game where that game where the shot just fell out, Jeff Dowded, and they would have won over Dayton.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Yeah. I watched that
I
run. Yeah.
was at that one, but maybe I'll get myself over there too in Brooklyn. But
Yeah. You should, man. It'll be fun.
yeah, I want to meet you finally in person, not just. I mean, we talk a lot on Facebook and we have a good time with that, but um, so I was saying, the fans are crazed. They're very excited about today because you're back, and they asked me, they wondered what could have been if you came back your senior year because you had
Yeah.
some players and then you had infusion of new talent. Now, I'm just wondering, like, in your opinion, if you put yourself in the mix, how good could that team have been? Because the team before that was an excellent team.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 years before. We were great. We were moving in the right direction, and we had the NCAA tournament written all over us. Honestly, it was mostly my fault. I know Dewan and Jamal ended up getting injured, but that's hindsight's 2020 with that.
Sure, yes.
I don't know if many people know. The year before I came to Rhode Island, my mom passed away.
Wow.
So that played a huge role in my mental, honestly. And that's when I was at Winchendon in Massachusetts for prep school. DeJuan touched on that we battled in prep school as well. But
Can I
yeah,
stop you for 1 second and give a
yeah,
shout out because Kenny Green has just become a coach at Winchendon, and
yeah, I heard that's awesome, man.
I'm really happy for him. He hasn't got any breaks that he should have. He should have been a coach a long time ago. But whatever it is, tell me
Yeah,
about Winchendon. It's a pretty good job he got there, and in your time at Winchendon.
yeah, no doubt. That whole league, the NEPSAC it's tough, man. It's so competitive. They just produce college basketball players, whether it be the D1 level, D3 level, it doesn't matter. There's always players coming out of there, and they're always tough nosed. And Winchendon for me was a savior. My grades weren't the best coming out of South Lakes High School in Northern Virginia, and I actually had some football scholarships as well. I was an all-state wide receiver. But I chose the basketball route. I just hated football practice. But going up to Winchendon, Coach Mike Burns, who is now the head coach at Tilton, who made his rounds. He was actually at Rhode Island College for a little bit there. He told my mom, he was like, I wanted my D1 4 years, right? So I didn't want to go to JUCO and waste 2 years. I knew I was good enough to go D1, and Winchendon turned out to be the answer. They gave us a great break because my mom was a single mom and went up there. And, that year was both awesome and the worst year of my life at the same time, if you could imagine that. But
I
2 months in,
I really feel for you.
yeah. So
uh,
it happens. Life happens. I just needed to get to the right spot mentally where I could channel the right energy. And eventually that happened. It took a long time. But I will put the blame on my senior year, what was supposed to be, because I just broke down and I just went a different route. And I know I upset so many fans, and I apologize, but I will try to make it up to you as best as I can somehow in the future.
Well, it's your life first. And, we love basketball. We're all fans, but we care about the person too. And if whatever was going through, I'm so glad to see how well you're doing now. So there's no reason to apologize. I mean, we wish, you, like you said, like I said, you are a hero among many, and you still are. And the memories are like they were yesterday. So there's no reason to. So whatever you explained to me, is finished, and your life sounds like it's really going well. You look
It's great. I will tell you this though. I'll tell you this though. Those big games and that Ryan Center opening up and those fans, they pushed me through some tough years. I'll tell you that. I couldn't have done without it.
Yeah. Well, let's have a little more fun and go to a video of a shot that you made. You go.
Penetration. And it's tough when you got the big guy in the middle in there. And as Dustin Hellenga lets a three go to beat the shot clock.
That was a good one.
19 for Hellenga.
What I noticed there, you're jumping, and that jump was popular with the Tyson Whaler, Antonio Reynolds Dean.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, they called it something. I forgot the name, but they would do that before the game. And I saw you like, just take us through, what was going on. I mean, there's 7 ticks on the shot clock, so it's not the type of shot that just guessing Coach Barron wanted. But you also had it wasn't fair either. The fans were like telling you about the shot clock, warning you, and they were, overdoing it a little bit. So what happened there? I remember you had a really funny quote about it, that if you missed, you would have been taken out.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. If you actually watch that video back in slow-mo, you can see Coach Barron throw his arms up briefly when I pulled the trigger. So he was on the verge of yanking me. I was having a good game though, so it would have been a tough sub. But I don't know. I saw the shot clock. I didn't know what else we could do. You know, it's hard to get into a set at that point unless you just get a, you know, pick and roll action or something at the top of the key. Maybe Woody was open on the wing over there, but you know, I just believed that I could make it. And like I told you the other night, if it went in, it was going to be real tough for us to lose that game.
Yeah, and you said you put them to bed. Dustin Hellenga, like, you know, that's just you. You're rubbing it in, and we love that about you. You know, we don't need polite here when we're playing PC. There's no room for polite. And let's see if we could capture.
It's really quick. If you watch, you see his arms go up. Like, what are you doing? See?
And there was still 10 minutes to go, so you could say it wasn't a game winner, but a lot of people, including yourself, felt like you just took all the spirit away from them. And after that shot, they weren't playing the same way, and you just took it from there. What do you think about it?
I don't think we trailed after that. Could be mistaken, maybe, but I don't think so. I think after that, everybody else picked up that momentum from the fans, and that was it. I think even PC knew that it was over.
Yeah, I think so too.
And we took an early punch from them and weathered it pretty well. And I think once that started going, because then DeJuan was hitting and B Wood was hitting, and they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, but that was final straw. Well, we're not finished with video. Having you on is one big video highlight, and that's what we like anyway. So we're going to go to another shot. And feel free to chime in. But here it is.
It's a horrible fall away. Just so happened to go in.
What would you call it? It was a runner or a float?
I don't know. A running fade. I'm not sure.
And then what happened here? I'm going to stop this.
Yeah.
There was controversy. What can you tell me?
Big time.
What happened? And do you think it was fair in retrospect? Do you think USC?
We won the game, right? It's in the books. So I'm not going to harp on that. Fair or not, I forgot about that part. But with that being said, DeJuan had the ball at the top of the key. I got it. Looked at the shot clock. The shot clock was what I was worried about because that was really running down. And that's the buzzer that sounded was the shot clock. So when that happened and me being in that corner with my teammates, I think they were so excited that they heard the buzzer and they thought the game was over. So they grabbed me. And I was trying to get back on the court. It took me a second, but I managed to get back down court before USC got the ball down there. But he still made a hell of a shot. Desmond Farmer was a good player back in the day. I mean, that's a big-time shot under pressure. And it went in, but what's that?
Was that a three-pointer or a two?
Yeah. I mean, that would have put us to bed. But, you know, luckily we had a video crew on that day. Because if not, we would have lost. They called it good. So,
yeah, wow, that's something.
But I'll tell you this: it was meant to be for that Ryan Center. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they really put you on the spot. First game ever, and they called USC, and they're like, "Okay, take care of business. You have to win this game," and you guys did. Well,
yeah.
We have some more video here. You went nuts, Dustin, right?
I had a good one. Yeah.
Here, so they're looking at the videotape and they say that
he calls it off, and now I'm running around with my jersey. You know,
you got your. I'm not even going to call it what it's called.
I know it's not politically correct, so don't.
And that's another thing. DeJuan was laughing, and we don't have the whole videotape, but there was a very touching moment when it looked like you and your brother were hugging each other.
So you know what? I heard DeJuan say that. That's actually my prep school coach, Mike Burns.
Well, he's leading me the wrong way, DeJuan.
I know. Well, once he said it, I wanted to call him because it was too late. But yeah, that was my prep school coach, Mike Burns. He was the head coach at Winston at the time.
Okay, so
yeah, he came down and just, you know, he told me good things were going to happen if I went to Roadie, and he was right.
Well, I like DeJuan's story better.
That was cool.
Here we go. This is all Dustin. Tell us what we're seeing here. I mean, you've got a shot that's contorted. It still goes in. You're bending.
Yeah, kind of a slingshot type. Nice mix of stuff though. I didn't have many of those two-handed dunks, but I'll take one on a video though, so my friends can at least believe that I got a dunk in.
Um, why don't we go to the Dayton game and tell me, about that game?
All right, yeah, it was on the road. It was their senior night. We were teetering on the bubble at that time. What was that? That was after we lost to St. Joe's, unfortunately, because if we would have got that one, we probably would have snuck in there. But we were playing well. Beginning of the game, I got smacked on the elbow on a jump shot, and I airballed it. And from that point on, for a good 30 minutes, every time I touched the ball, the whole crowd was yelling airball. And Dayton basketball, they sell it out every time. So it was a lot. I had my grandfather and my brother sitting front row behind our bench, and just came down to it. We were battling. We were down, I want to say 2, could have been 1. And DeJuan was inbounding the ball. I was at the top of the key. We were in the line formation, and my defender took a step into the paint, and I just shot to the corner and hit a fadeaway 3 with no time left. And that same game, I scored my 1,000th point. And with all the middle fingers I got from the crowd, as well as my brother and my grandfather, that was the perfect way to stick it in. I'm going to tell you that. And the next morning, we were walking to the airport, through the airport, and DeJuan and Jamal were like, "Come look at this TV. We're getting breakfast. We're super tired." They showed that I had a top 10 on Sports Center, so you can only imagine how that felt.
And it was an ESPN game as well.
Yeah,
We have a lot of unknowns that the ceiling is very high. And if you've been following this team,
I've been following. Yeah, I'm definitely been following up this year. Obviously, a little closer. I'm excited to see where they go. I'm gonna try to get some more games. I think Howie was talking about flying up to the PC game. So I might shoot up there for that one.
Yeah, it's this year. It's in Kingston.
Yeah. So I think I'll probably shoot up there for that one. I'm not far away, so I'd like to get back up there. I haven't been up there since I left. So.
Oh wow! Well, I hope the PA announcers mention you. I think that should be something moving forward. If whoever's should just at least be mentioned, and you should stand up, and
that'd be cool.
That would be a great thing.
That would be awesome, especially if I bring the family. That'd be great.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe Big Tom Ryan can give me some front rows that game. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe you'll start hanging out with Tom Ryan.
He hooked me up when the tournament was down here in DC. So
really,
still has love for me. I think he probably appreciates that opener. So,
well, we have something from one of the players. He had something to say about you, and I know you're very close with him. So let's see what he said.
Because he was just all heart, and he just didn't care who you were. I used to hate Dustin before I went to URI. We was in prep school, facing each other, battling for a whole season. We played his team, I think, twice or 3 times. And me and Dustin used to get into bad arguments. I could not stand Dustin. I hated Dustin until I met him on campus. I was like, look at you over here. You're my brother now.
And
it's a mutual hate, that's for sure.
What was the problem there? Were you giving him a hard time, or was he giving you? Because I know he used to give the centers a hard time in practice and say, "You can't block me. It's impossible. I'm using my body."
Yeah.
So I mean, he
was so crafty around the hoop. But yeah, it was just a mutual, hard-nosed, player-to-player battle. I think we got to play them 4 times in the prep school year, and we beat them all 4 times, and I didn't let him forget about that as each game went. But, he would still put up 30, and I would have 20, 25, something like that. But it was always a battle. And, we just played so hard that it was impossible to avoid that. And I'll say it again, that's the best player I've ever played with.
You did say that. That's very respectful, because you had a very great career too. So if you're saying that, and there's people that He brought out a lot of excitement when he was on 2 shows ago. And he's just, besides being very likable, he was
Yeah.
tough. There was just something about you two on that team, and it looked like an NCAA team.
Man, we had it. We may have partied a little too much. That may have lost us a couple games there, but
Okay, here we go. We're getting.
it's college, right?
Yeah, that's what he told me. You guys closed down.
Yeah, he was talking about Black Point. Yeah, I think we definitely got that shut down. We
Well,
won't tell you what happened at Black Point or what happened afterwards. You could probably ask the PD about that, but you know, it
yeah.
stayed out of the newspaper, so it was all good.
Well, that's this is why we were all excited to have you because you're very open. We have a few questions. You mind from the fans? This is another thing that happened. There was just so many questions, and one fan said that you guys both lived in the Butterworth dorm, and you had a big dog, and you moved off campus, and he said you were a good dude. You remember who that was, or those things happened? Well, you were a Butterworth guy. You remember
I
that?
was in Butterworth, but I also don't tell anybody. But I also got I got an apartment off campus, and I did have a dog. It was a bull mastiff. But all this stays between you and I, right?
Okay.
No, but yeah, that was true. That's all true. I just kind of like my space and doing my thing. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that
Then I could have the fellows over too. We didn't have to be on campus and people judging us. So
I'm sure your place was a fun place to hang out.
not bad.
And then one person wondered in high school, did you get the green light to shoot wherever you wanted?
For the most part, I had a really good high school team. Had a couple guys go D1. We lost in the state championship. We were right there every year. So I took terrible shots there as well. Yes. And they still went in here and there. But yeah, I had the green light. But I had such good players with me, as I did at Rhode Island too, that I still tried to dime people up here and there.
Yeah. And I noticed these people pick up everything about you. You don't realize. I don't know where they find this information, but your grandfather was a very prominent person. He did a lot of different things. He was administrator in school and everything. Tell me about your grandfather and your relationship and how he molded you to be who you were.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I was around him, wasn't much. My parents got divorced when I was young. My mom moved us to Northern Virginia when I was about 5. So it would be like every other summer I would get back or every other holiday. But I spent a lot of time with him and just a disciplined, respected, educated human that you just couldn't not listen to. And you wanted to take some of those values with you as long as you could, when you could. Unfortunately, it took me a lot longer than most, but yeah, he passed away a few years back, and he's got a school named after him, and he's all over his town of Decatur, Michigan. He's a legend. So I couldn't thank him enough for the time we had together, and I hope to be even close to what he was one day.
And they didn't know you were in Michigan.
Yeah, I was born in Michigan. I moved young. I was born in Southwest Michigan. We moved young, so that's just how it went. I was raised by a single mom. Did her best. Did a great job. Unfortunately, she passed away when I was 2 months into prep school, and that flipped me upside down a little bit. But I'm here now. I thank her 100% for who I am today. So ups and downs in life, but that's a part of it.
Yeah. Well, Dustin, we're going to wrap things up now. I could talk to you forever, but thanks so much for joining our podcast.
Yeah, man.
And everyone else.
No problem.
Love to hear you. And I want to just remind the fans before we go, we have some bonus coverage coming up. We have Dustin and Dwan taking PC down. And finally, I hope to see you in Brooklyn in March. So
we'll be there. I'll keep you updated.
Yeah. And go Roadie.
Go Roadie.
Okay, Dustin, have a good rest of the night. And
all right, man, you too.
I'll see you in Brooklyn.
Appreciate the time.
Rebound with Rhody's first chance to run. Pass down low. Sweet. Will face that zone. URI has struggled the last couple of games out against his own. Brown the other day, and then up at Syracuse says, Hellenga hits a three.
Well, it's inside.
Hellenga. This time he's open. In rhythm. Lets it fly, and it goes.
In the entire game, you'll see 3 and 4 Rams on the glass.
Good catch by Chris Holm. The hook and some hard hit from 4 for the Friars. Woodward blocked. Hellenga offensive rebound. Woodward in trouble, goes behind the back. Dumped down to Holm. Holm, Hellenga. A streaky shooter, Dustin Hellenga field. Robinson on the wing, just 1 turnover so far. Hellenga. It's good. Basket is good, and we have a foul on the play.
They come to the glass so hard that they may have the ability to do that.
Stolen away. Hellenga, fast break. Nice feed. Robinson. And it's tough when you got the big guy in the middle in there. And as Dustin Hellenga lets a long 3 go to beat the shot clock. 19 for Hellenga. Oh, Terrence back up to DeJuan Robinson. Ahead of the field to Hellenga. Forecourt, 1:30 to go. Friars down by 10. Hellenga steps in the passing lane. Perhaps the coup de grace. Robinson with 26. 52 points by the Euro. And Jim Barron will be joining us here in a second as Tim Welsh and Dustin Hellenga talk there. Dustin with a huge game in this one, an emotional player.